Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Nate Jones.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey Nate, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
We're good.
Doing good. So what exactly do you do?
I am a full-time real estate agent, father, husband, and varsity wrestling coach.
Awesome. So when you were, let's back it up a little bit. So when you were younger, is this like what your plan was, or what was your ideas?
If you would have asked me when I was in kindergarten what I wanted to be, I probably would have said a movie star or something along those lines. If you would have asked me in high school, I would have said I had absolutely no idea. So I've always really enjoyed speaking with people, especially, in a crowd setting. I did a lot of public speaking when I was in high school at like a news broadcast that we always did. And I knew I wanted to find some way that I could speak to people. Right out of high school, I went into the Department of Corrections, became a CO, and I did that for a couple of years until, I've heard from a family friend that I should get into real estate. I had never even considered it before.
Yeah.
She sat down with me and we kind of went over a couple things, and she said, "You're so good at speaking with people. This is basically just that. You love helping people. This is also that." So things really fell into line perfectly.
That's awesome. So what was your first job?
Oh man. So my first job, real job would have been selling internet for my uncle around Crystal Lake. He owns the internet company here in Mount Pleasant, CMS Internet. And basically he had me do a lot of the grunt work. I started off just door knocking all around the lake, trying to sell internet. And that'll teach you a lot really quickly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that helped you too with real estate.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. Yeah. And we still utilize that practice today where, a lot of people don't, but those are my roots. That's where I started. So I have no problem door knocking and, most times getting the door slammed in my face, but it's a good way to get out there. It's a good way to learn.
Yep.
Yeah. I know you mentioned being a wrestling coach also. Were you in wrestling in high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Whole life I played football and stuff like that. And then just starting in high school, my freshman year, I got convinced to go out for the wrestling team and absolutely fell in love with it. I was absolutely terrible to start with. I think I won one match my freshman year and got pinned, I think like 30 times. So huge learning experience, but wrestling is one of those sports that it prepares you for the rest of your life as far as the dedication it takes, the mental game that it has on you, when you're cutting weight, doing all those things. It really helped me prepare. And that's why I love coaching it and teaching kids, life is hard after high school, let alone just in high school. That stuff that you learn there is really going to prepare you the rest of your life.
How do you balance everything? So you're a coach, you're an agent, and you're a dad and husband. How do you balance everything?
My wife.
Okay.
She helps me balance everything. So, she's the rock that's really, holding this whole thing together. I like to, with real estate, I thought it was such an amazing opportunity because I got to be my own boss and do those things. But not only that, I got to be there when, my kids were growing up. I got to see my daughter Sage through all those little things, those pivotal moments, especially when they're first born.
Yeah.
That there it's worth its weight in gold. So that was super important to me. And being able to do that and now doing it with my son, it's been an amazing experience.
Awesome. Take us to your first transaction. How did that go? Was it smooth?
My first transaction was smooth.
Awesome.
I joined a team when I first got my license, and I was working with my team leader, and she really helped kind of push me to do all the talking, do everything that way, and it was kind of learn on the fly type of thing, and I think that really helped me a lot. I think we sold it for $100,000, little house in Crystal. So it was the absolute perfect start.
Yeah.
And I've loved it ever since.
Nice. So moving forward in the next year or so, what do you have planned? I know you talked about your team a little bit. Actually, let's backtrack a little bit. Can you tell us about your team first, and then we can go forward with that?
estate for almost 4 years now. And
Okay.
obviously my wife is the one who pushed me to go full time at it and, make a living for our family. I want to make enough money to where, she didn't have to work, but she could, raise our kids and do whatever she wanted that way.
Yeah.
But through this journey, obviously I'm chewing her ear off about real estate nonstop. So she basically knew everything I knew. So it only made sense for her to get her license as well. So we started the Homes by Jones team last year. We got her license. And then my best friend, Preston, I got him his license as well. So it's been us three, and, I'm learning how to be a team leader, how to do different activities to, help them learn. And now we're bringing on new agents, and it's turned into something really, really cool.
Nice. So going forward in the next year, is there anything that you and your team would like to accomplish?
We're in the works of getting an office right now.
Okay.
I do want to get a permanent spot. Not that I don't love working in my basement with everybody, but I'd like to get them into a more professional setting.
Yeah.
It's going to help that way. Because like I said, we're bringing on more agents. I'm actually getting my mom and dad both of their license, so it's really turning into a family there. I'm just really excited for what the future holds.
That's awesome. So let's talk about kind of some maybe some newer agents that are kind of joining you. You're kind of getting, like you said, getting your license. How would they spend how would you tell them to spend their first $1,000?
That's a good question. So to spend your first $1,000, I mean, you need to get some marketing materials for sure. So something that I did is I because the first thing you buy is always business cards. And I got some advice really early on in my real estate career that, basically just stand out, be different than everyone else. And I want to find a way to do that. So I got these really cool, thick plastic business cards, and I spent way too much money on them. And especially for my first business card, usually you can get like 500 for $100. These were much more, but it's something to throw away. You can't just crinkle it up and throw it in your pocket. So what I would do is I would purchase all these business cards, and I would go up to like CMU or, wherever we went out anywhere, I would just hand them out to everybody. At parties, wherever we went, I would just hand them out. So whenever I started going back to those places, people would just pull it out of the wall and be like, hey, this you? I'm like, oh yeah. Hey, yeah. So that was one thing that really helped me get successful, because, people were just carrying a picture of me in their wallet for, years on it.
Yeah, and I bet that extra expense that you initially spent on those business cards paid out, because they're going to last way longer now.
Most definitely, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, they don't just kind of crumble it up and toss it in your pocket or go through the washer. They're very, very durable.
Nice. So over COVID, I know the shutdown kind of affected everybody. Is there anything in your business that you changed during that time?
Yeah. So, we all had to adapt different ways, of course. Yep. Something that we tried to do a lot was just stay connected with our buyers as best we could. We did a lot of FaceTime showings and things like that, which, not a lot of people will buy a house without seeing it first. Personally, I wouldn't either, but that was the world living in. So I was trying to make the process as easy as possible. Showing them every nook and cranny, doing anything we could that way to make them feel comfortable and stay connected with our clients.
Yeah. Were you doing switch over to Zoom calls to show the homes? Is that what you're doing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like it.
I have a question. It's kind of in the opposite direction. What is the worst property that you have been to?
Oh, okay. So
these ones, you can go any direction you want with it.
Right. No, I know exactly which one it came. I got approached to sell this house that had sat vacant for, I think, like 3 or 4 years. No one had been in it. And they said, hey, Nate, it's a mess. I just need you to come in, tell me what it's worth, and, help me sell it. I said, no problem. So we went in, everything looked fine the way, it was left, but the insects had started to take over a little bit outside.
Oh, wow.
I remember I was wearing white, Nike ankle socks, and I looked down and they're completely black.
Wow.
No.
I don't remember wearing
just like
black
little
socks.
bugs.
I'm like, oh my gosh, there were fleas.
Oh
wow.
My. That must have been bad then.
My whole ankle is just covered in flea bites, all the way up, and I look around and they're just jumping everywhere, and wow.
Did-
That's
that,
crazy.
Yeah.
by the time I noticed, I was already in my car, so I had to get my whole car detailed, get everything cleaned out, and we had to have the whole place taken care of professionally. But like, so my wife has been very, very, very worried ever since. Whenever I go somewhere, she's, "Did you check yourself?" I'm like, "We're good, no
We're
problem."
good.
Yeah. Did you end up selling that home?
We did, yep. But once we got
Yeah.
everything, professionally out, everything like that, we had no problem selling it.
That's awesome.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Is there a business book that you could recommend to anybody first starting out in real estate?
The Dave Ramsey one, I know it's not specifically to real estate, but the biggest thing for me was, learning how to manage my own business was a huge task for me, because all of a sudden there's not someone telling you what to do, when to wake up, when to do things. So that was a huge learning curve for me because, I can go out there and I could show 10 houses today and, put myself out there, or I could go out there and do nothing.
Yep.
But if you think that's, that paycheck's not just going to show up. So find ways to self-motivate myself and really, really hone in on the organizational part.
That's awesome.
Really, really helped me. And Dave Ramsey, all of his books, we tried to hit all of them that we could. Definitely speak to that on volumes.
That's awesome. So you talked about your wife kind of pushed you to going full time. What were you doing before you went full time? Like, what was did you go jump right into full time? Did you kind of slowly transition over?
No.
How did that go?
No. So I was working at my father's factory in Belden, Mueller Brass. And I tell you what, I respect every single factory worker out there because that is hard work. I was down in a pit digging out, molten metal and stuff like that. I have this picture of me that I have on my wall just so I don't forget, what the alternative is other to real estate, to go back to that. And it was just super hard work. And I was coming home and I was, just down in the dumps. She's like, we can do this full time. She's like, let's put all our energy into it. I believe in you. I trust in you. Let's do it. And, just her giving me that, okay, let's take the leap is really why I'm even here today doing this. So
that's awesome.
That was amazing. I mean, we had our daughter Sage was 2 months old, and to just jump, both feet into something like that was very, very scary.
Yeah.
But you got to take risks in life to be successful.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And having that support system is huge too.
Definitely.
Yeah. What kind of marketing do you like? What's your favorite way to market or kind of do sales stuff? What's your favorite way to do that?
My favorite way to market, I mean, like I said, I love talking to people. So one thing that, I try to push my team to do whenever we list the house is to go and talk to the neighbors, because everyone's always concerned, when you're selling a house, what neighbors are going to move in? Are they going to be nice? What are they going to do? So I go back to that old door knocking that I used to do. And I go and knock on all the neighbors' doors and say, hey, just to let you know, this house is going to be coming up for sale soon. Do you know any friends or family who you might want to be your neighbor? And I've had really good success doing that because everyone usually knows somebody.
Yeah.
So they get really all these kind of questions, and right off the bat, people are they're already gaining interest on the properties. So that's been a really successful tactic for us.
That's awesome, especially because you already knew how to do that because your previous job.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You're like, I got this down, because that's not an easy thing to do. Just walk up.
No,
and,
yeah,
do that.
And that's training our new agents to do it. It's kind of like an initiation thing. We pick a little cul-de-sac. All right, here we go, and we print off some flyers. It's pretty entertaining because some, like I said, some people just slam the door on you. Others will sit there and talk your ear off for 30 minutes. It's hit or it's definitely a good learning experience.
Yeah. When
awesome.
you first started out in real estate, did you go to that tactic too, or did you learn that over time to start asking the neighbors?
I did. I didn't know just the neighbors thing until a little bit further in, but it's, like I said, I grew up on Crystal Lake, so everyone is always out, waving at people when they drive by. So my wife, we loaded up the baby in the stroller because, I mean, that's like the best salesperson there is. If you got a little baby, the whole story of, hey, I'm just gotten into real estate.
Yep.
Thought about living home at all, and we laid it on pretty thick, but
it worked.
Great.
That's awesome. Where can people follow you at?
So we have the Homes by Jones page on Facebook, and that is our main way. And then you can also go to www.homesbyjonesteam.com. We just got a really cool website up and running.
Sweet, that's awesome. I have to go check it out. How can what's your guys' phone number?
Oh, my number is 989-763-0795. And like I mentioned before, I have a 3-year-old and a 2-month-old, so I don't get a whole lot of sleep. And I pride myself on, if I don't answer your call right away, I'm definitely going to call you within the next 3 minutes as soon as I get done with the call I'm on.
Yep.
A lot of people, they're texting me or calling me at like 9 or 10, and they're like, I'm so sorry to keep you up late. I know you probably don't work this late. It's like, we're round the clock out here.
Yes,
so,
we are. Yep, that's pretty much the industry.
Yeah, also doesn't sleep. So.
Yep, for sure. Awesome. Was there anything else you want to share with everyone before we go?
No. I got one more piece of advice, especially for newer realtors. Something that I found. Just following different realtor pages and a bunch of realtors posting on there, and a lot of people just like, hey, I wouldn't drive over 45 minutes for a showing, and they're referring these people out, and I was trying to take as many as I could, because especially when you're getting started, I mean, put the miles in, go wherever you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
I live out basically in the middle of nowhere. I have to drive 30 minutes to get to the nearest Meijer, so driving to me was no problem at all. But definitely, get every opportunity you can, take the referrals, do what you need to do the open houses, because that's what's going to pay off. That's how you're going to build your brand the most.
Yep. That's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Are these working? Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
It might be there.
Might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Find
it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah. I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review if they're listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars, guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.